Said Bills, Bills.
Oh, guys, I had to do it. You guys gave me the greatest opportunity for me to go ahead and do that on this call right after that victory. Thank you for blessing me with this time.
Y'all earned it, man. Y'all earned it.
We were rooting for you last night, Kate. We were rooting. We were trying. All right. How are we doing, everybody? It is 11:01, so let's get us kick started here. I hear we got somebody cool that's gonna lead our call after the slides here, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have somebody else. I don't know. But here we are,
That was
January
pretty cool, Bob.
27th, team call, last Monday of January. Let's get this kick started. Let's first talk about, especially for anybody fairly new with us, some of the most important calls for you to be joining. This one, first one, Monday team call, noon Eastern. Tomorrow in the virtual office, if you guys have any needs for casework discussion with an expert or somebody else like Bob Gransard, he is on that call to help you. No, I'm teasing Bob. We know you're an expert. Guys, plug into that call. He will always help you guys out with any of your challenging or even just maybe first time opportunities to share some nuggets with you as you plug in through some opportunities with your leads and getting those quotes put together. On Wednesday, we have our weekly national call. It starts at 12:30 Eastern. Your time zones are also listed if you need that help. Thursday, two calls. These are great for any really great training opportunities if you're looking just for some nuggets from a sales perspective, helping with closure of business, or it's helped me a ton. The deep dive sales calls on at 11 a.m. Eastern, or the Razor Ridge call at noon Eastern. And then most of you guys also will be on this call again on Friday for our your respective agency team call. All right. Next up, we've got some people signed up for this week, but guys, this is a great opportunity if you're new and you want to hear some experienced leaders make some dials. You just want to observe them, listen in, get some nuggets to help you set some appointments. These are some great calls to join. However, you see there's a little QR code in the top right. If your name is not on here and you'd like to share some nuggets of wisdom, I won't call anybody out, Holly Hensley, but people like that, John White, anybody else, Melissa Banning, come on, you're a rock star. We know you. I saw you heard me. So guys, I've done these calls. I love doing them. And thank you, Wilbur. I didn't call your name out, Wilbur, because I knew you'd do that. But yes, I love doing calls, especially on Saturdays. So get yourself signed up here, please. I left this slide up a little long for people to get that picture taken.
Bob, you know what we should do?
Yeah, what should we do?
We should change this QR code to like a collective Starbucks gift card to get Melissa on the schedule.
We can all donate $1 at a time, right?
That would be
We're
like,
gonna cut Melissa some slack because her poor daughter is very sick with norovirus, however you say it. But next week, Melissa, we're coming down on you.
It wasn't just me that said it, Melissa. I mean, geez, you heard her. She's really feisty today. Those Bills didn't win. So, all right, moving on. Oh, I love this month. Guys, it's easy to know the last day to submit and the last day to get placed are both this Friday. So if you want credit for your business, you know what to do. Get it in February 1st. It's pretty easy. It starts a new month for us here in the agency. So not much more to say on that. Company overview. We've got another one of these coming up. If you haven't had anybody join, or if you haven't just popped in as an agent that's been here for a while, great opportunity to share this opportunity to join our team. Looks like Scott and G have got that same picture up there, but why change something that's looking so good? So February 12th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Great opportunity if you're still talking to friends or family and they're like, yeah, maybe I'm interested. Tell them to join this. This would be great. And book of the month. All right, Holly Hensley, you want to unmute for a second? I see you with your red hat on today. Talk us a little bit through the Slight Edge. This is your last opportunity to share this words of wisdom on this book that we should be reading.
Sure. Thanks, Bob. This book helps give clarity for what the small things you can do every day or most days that will make a huge difference, not just in your business, but in your personal life. So it really just narrows it down. It makes it simple. It makes it easy to understand. And it's something that you can implement as soon as you read it. Every time I've actually listened to it, but every time I listen to it, there's something I take that day or that moment and implement it right away. So highly encourage you guys to check this one out.
Love it. Thank you, Holly. For those that joined here and are like, why are we talking about books on here? I will speak from experience as not being an avid book reader, getting and plugging into a book, reading even just 15, 20 minutes a day. It's going to improve your outlook in life or whatever it is that you're reading. That's going to help you tremendously, and personally and professionally. So highly encourage it. All right, we've got some builders. Look at this full list of people. I can't remember the last time I've seen a builder without a photo already on Slack. So James Bradford, call out for the great picture there. But you've got one ready to write, Benjamin Panos with one ready to write, Joseph Helms and Wilbur Smith also both with one ready to write, and Skate, the combination of Kate and Scott Schnitzer with two ready to write. So who are these people? And by the way, what is a ready to write? For those that don't know, they've been licensed, they're now onboarded, and they have opt access. All
Hey,
right.
Bob,
Yeah.
how would someone go about updating their picture for the slide deck every week?
Well, you got to go and probably put it into Slack. I think I said that already. So I just go into Slack. If you haven't already, put your picture on there. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, I guarantee you there's an awesome handbook that will teach you and help you with getting that in there. Yes, there you go, Scott. I know I got the bonus points for the handbook shout out. All right. So I guess probably why you brought it up. We've got some more fun pictures. If you like cross-eyed people, here we go. So who are those new ready to writes? We've got Kenneth Price directed James Bradford, Ashley Panos directed Benjamin Panos. I guess there's a resemblance there. All right. Lakeisha Williams directed Joseph Helms. We've got Dawn Cole directed Skate Schnitzer. Justin Moore with the funny George Clooney look also directed Skate Schnitzer. And Teresa Wyman directed Wilbur Smith. All right. Congrats for those that are now ready to write. But now let's also talk about our new writers that have had their first app submitted to opt. Jamie Ratliff directed Summer Friesen. Sonia Shows directed to Tom Plays. Curtis Warlick directed The Sarah Neal. Sarit Klein directed Bob Granzard, Double B. Gunner, love it. We all love your picture, Gunner. Direct to myself, and Simone Jackson direct to Sarah Hadley. And let's talk about some production successes last week. Let's talk about those that were in the top 10. We'll start from the bottom. Rod, Lightning Man, continuing to just produce on a very regular basis. 3 apps, 3,400. Adam Pugh with 1 app and 3,500. Nice app, sir. Hunter Anderson, 2 apps, almost 3,800. Gina Pendarvis, 4 apps, 4,200. I feel like Danny Young trying to pronounce these names. You guys, I love it. Mariah Mustis, 5 apps, 4,600. Giovanna Mitru, 7 apps, 4,800. Let's start with the 5K Club. 4th place, Holly Hensley, 3 apps, 5,300. The Venus Diaz, not stopping anytime soon with these 5K weeks. 3 apps, 5,500. Joseph Helms, 4 apps, 6,400. Thank you guys for being on this list this week. We appreciate it. Join in the ladies. But let's talk about number 1, the Melissa Banning. 6 apps and 14.6K in APV. What an awesome week. Love that. All right, let's talk about our team stats last week. The White Agency, 1 app, 1 writer for 249 APV. The Salatus, 1,600 APV with 2 apps and 1 writer. Team Goldsmith, just over 2,000 APV, 1 app, 1 writer. The Smith team with 3,400, 3 apps, 1 writer. The Banks team with 3,500 in APV, 2 apps and 2 writers. And Joseph Helms, look at that. 4 writers, 11 apps, and just over 12K in APV for the week. Congrats, teams. Let's talk about now for the base shops. Team Diaz, 6,000 APV, 4 apps, 2 riders. Team Gransard, 9,700 APV, 9 apps and 6 riders. And the Friesens agency with 13K in APV, 13 apps and 6 riders. Mitrus with 14K in APV, 12 apps, 7 riders. The Tar agency, 16K in APV, 8 apps and 3 riders. And then, and there are those schnitzers again. Love it, you guys. Congratulations. 19K in APV for the week with 20 apps and 8 riders. All right, we've got our December numbers in final. And we have a little bit, if you're confused, if you're looking through this, you're used to probably seeing APV in sort ranking order. However, now we're going to show this in net placed production. So that's basically business that was written and then placed in the month for the month. So it's going to be based off of that. So in 10th place, I guess me, 78%, 10K in APV. Sarah Neal, 80%, 7.4K in APV. And Anita Emakodu, 82%, 23K in APV. Great month. Kayshawn, almost 84%. I'll round up, 2,900 APV. The Sarah Hadley, 86.7% and 11.5K in APV. Mariah Maestas, 87.5% and 12.2K in APV. Wilbur Smith, 89%, 5,700 APV. And then look at your top 3, all over 100%. I'm going to quiz somebody who can tell me, how do you hit over 100%? Put it in the chat. I'm going to scroll down so I can see it, but I'll read the numbers. Jared's the latest, 100.5%, 6.5K APV. Eleanor McNamara, 100.7%, 8.5K in APV. And again, Melissa Banning with 118.6% and 14.4K in APV. And I guess, Scott, you got it right. Yes, it is referrals. And I think somebody else has mentioned it over as well. So that is how you exceed over 100%. And it's a really cool thing to get because referrals, they cost how much? 0. Those are nice leads, aren't they, guys? All right. So congratulations for everybody on that list. Same thing, but now for our team stats, also ranked based off of percentage placed for the month. We've got Team Goldsmith at 56% and 6.8K APV. Team Helms, 58% and 18K in APV. Team White, almost at 80% with 2.1K APV. Team Smith, 92% and 7.1 APV. Team Banks, right at 100%, 4.7K APV. And in first place, Team Salatus with 100.5% net placed percentage and 6.5K APV. All right, we're not done. Let's talk about team stats for base shops for December. Team Diaz at 62.7% at 22K. Congratulations. Team Schnitzer with 65.9% and a whopping 78K APV. Awesome, guys. Team Gransard, 70.7 with 38K APV. Team Friesen, 81.1. Nice jump to the 80s here with percentage placed business in December, 37K APV. Team Mitru, 83%, 27K APV. And the Tar Agency at 102.5% and 20K APV for the month. That's awesome, guys. All right, let's talk about how we're doing so far for January. And why did I sign up for the end of the month? Oh, this is a lot of talking, but that's all right. I'll drink some water. All right, let's talk about our 5K riders. I already kind of gave a little shout out for Venus Diaz. This person just does not know how to stop writing 5K week. She's been doing it since September, y'all. So she is still 4 for 4 in January with all weeks written over 5K in APV. Congratulations. We've got 3 people with, I'm sorry, we have 3 people with 3 weeks so far this month with 5+K, Holly Hensley, Melissa Banning, and Sarah Hadley. And then we've got a handful of people that have 1 week having written 5K this month. Daniel Kudnick, Giovanna Mitru, Jennifer Philbeck, Jenny Goldsmith, Joseph Helms, Mariah Maestas, and Wilbur Smith. Congratulations, guys, for kicking some butt this month. We've got 1 more week to do it. And I've already seen some good numbers for this week, hence this next slide. Weekend Warriors, guys. What a Saturday I saw. And for those that added also on Sunday, I didn't break it down, but I know there were some definite big wins on Saturday. So let's talk about those. Mariah Maestas, 126 APV with one app. Joe Fritsch, $407 one app. Rod, another $1,000 one app. Jim Plord, good to see you on this list, my friend. 1,200 APV one app. Manvitha Kuchakula, so sorry if I mispronounced you. 1,383 APV, two apps. Maria Greenwood, love you, girl. 1,776 in APV, five apps. Wilbur Smith, 2.1K, one app. Denise Frias, 3.1K and three apps. Jenny Goldsmith, 4.3K and two apps. And, he just doesn't know how to rest. He wasn't at a wrestling tournament. He wasn't busy doing team calls. He wasn't busy doing anything else that he's doing in this business. But leading from the front, Scott Schnitzer, 5.4K in APV with two apps on the weekend. So congratulations all to those milestones. We're not done yet, guys. Holy cow. Jennifer Philbeck, where are you, girl? I am sure you're here. I know I saw your hubby in here. Congratulations writing your first 50 apps. I'm looking forward to seeing that with an extra zero on the end there for you. I know it's going to happen because look at this woman right here, Holly Hensley, hitting 300 apps. Guys, shout it out in the chat for Holly. Love it, Holly. Congratulations on that goal. And then the Venus Diaz. She's just like, hold my beer. 300? No, she's at 500. Congratulations, Venus. No surprise you're writing so much with your 5K weeks that you're just, I think it was just yesterday we saw you at 400. So congratulations. And that is all I have for the team call announcements. And I will let someone else take over.
Is that me?
Could be.
What do you guys want to talk about today? I'm just kidding. Today is going to be cool. So, we've been doing this new schedule of team calls for a couple weeks now, and these are perfect opportunities for us all to learn. Getting some new voices in here, getting some people to speak that we don't normally get to hear from with the entire master agency. So I'm going to be passing this call over to my buddy Wilbur. He's a team leader. He's a dad of 12 boys, right? 12 boys?
Just 11.
Yeah. Awesome dad. We love this man right here. He's down in Florida. I won't go through his stats because I think the type of person you are speaks louder to me than the stats that you throw up. Even though he's reached team leader status, he's working on 100% contract level right now. He's definitely got a lot to share with you guys that you're going to learn from him. But deep down, he's just a good dude and a good team member. And he's building a team right now that's taking off. So keep your eyes out for Key Leader and AO runs this year. I know there's a lot of people on the screen that are running after that. You are one as well, sir. So I'm excited for you to share with the team. When Kate and I were asked to host this call, we wanted Wilbur to speak this time. So everybody, Wilbur Smith, let's give it up for him. And hey, before we pass it over to Wilbur, I do this like every single time in the accountability call, and I messed up today. I forgot to wish Jim Plurt a happy birthday. So if everybody can wish him a happy birthday in the chat, that would be awesome. We normally sing, but I want to leave as much time available for Wilbur as possible. So Wilbur, mic's yours, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yo, those new slides are pretty sick, honestly.
They're good.
And you know why I liked them? Because it had my name was actually on a lot of them, and I looked at it and I'm like, no, Bob Greenwood, not in like an egotistical way, like, damn, we gotta get moving. Like we gotta get moving. Because those numbers are not where they should be, in my opinion, speaking for myself. those of you who saw yourself on there, maybe they are where you want to be, but they're not where I want to be. That's for sure. But yeah, I know a lot of you. I'm Wilbur, Director Bob, Granzard, and been here since I got licensed in June of 22. Didn't really fully come aboard until we got hit with a hurricane shortly after. And so it was like October of 2022 that I came on full time. And yeah, I'm grateful to be able to talk today because of like where I'm at in this business. And it's not, I'll never speak to you from a like this look at me type of thing. I'll always let you know right where I'm at, and a lot of where I'm at is really good, and a lot of where I'm at is also kind of painful. And so and so yeah, the power is vested in me to be able to lead this call. I got to officiate a wedding back in November, and let me tell you, being able to say that to somebody is a really fun thing to do. And this particular team has helped me a lot in a lot of different ways. And so excited to be able to talk today. First of all, Scott texted me this as I was falling asleep last night. Kind of like when AMAM sends you either an approval or a denial, right at about 10 p.m. and that email comes through. And so took me a minute to fall asleep. So I'm like, oh man, I got to lead a call tomorrow. But when I was thinking about it, like I said, I'll let you know where I'm at. And where I'm at is the saying that is coming to my mind is the man in the arena. And a lot of you might know that quote. Well, actually, I'll pull some Jim Larson moves here. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what quote I'm talking about, and also who says the quote, extra brownie points. Let's see how quickly Summer can answer that. And the reason that that's coming to mind is because I've been here for a few years. Like I've been here for a few years, and I've had some really awesome months, and I've had some really good runs, and I've also had some really bad runs, and I've also had some really bad months. And like I would take those slides that we all just saw, and I would put myself in the category of not so great of a month for me personally. My background is not in insurance like a lot of you. So to identify, just so you know, like where I kind of come from, my background, I spent 10 years inside of the behavioral health space. What that means is I worked inside of drug and alcohol treatment centers, specifically for men who were younger adult men who were trying to basically get their lives back in order. I worked for facilities for 5 years, and then I moved home to Florida. And I opened my own center. I had recovery homes where I housed people who were trying to get better. And then I had an intensive outpatient, a licensed, commercial building where we had therapists, psychiatrists, all the works to be able to help people. And my vision has always been relatively large. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today and some vulnerability there. And so, I got sober at 21 years old. That's how I started working in this field. Okay. That's how I found that field. And one thing led to another, and I realized I had a pretty unique ability to identify and help other people trying to walk this path, right? Like, why would you follow someone who hasn't done it before? I think we were talking about it today on the accountability call. And side note, if you're not on the accountability for February, like go ahead and do that, because you would have heard some identification from Scott already today, which is why a lot of us don't have a hard time listening to him, because we can identify with the path already walked. And so I always had a big vision when I moved home and I opened this facility. A quick story about that. When my wife and I have 4 kids, by the way. I don't have 11 or 12. I have 4 boys. But when my wife and I went to our very first appointment, and those of you who are moms or dads that have experienced this, like, you know what it's like driving to that first baby appointment. You're like, oh, ultrasound, meh, meh, meh. And we go to the doctor's office. It was on this medical road. We all have them in our cities, where you drive in and it's, chiropractor on the left, cardio this on the right, and it's just medical facilities all down the road. Beautiful street. I was 24 or 5, I don't know how old I was, 26 maybe, I don't know, younger. And I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know how, but I'm gonna have one of these buildings. Like, I want my outpatient to be on this street. And this is before we had kids, right? This is our very first baby appointment. And in that time, obviously, the life kept moving forward. And I opened a couple of houses, and it came time to start seeking where we were going to put where we were going to get our licensed building. The first thing that I did is I drove right to that street. I drove because I remember saying that. By the way, we didn't go with that doctor. So I'd only been on that street one time in my life because we didn't like the doctor. We went somewhere else. But I remember still wanting to be on that street. And so I drove back to that street by myself and drove going down it, hoping I see that some sort of sign just to kind of kick my creative brain off. And I get to the end of that street, and I kid you not, there is a sign that says for lease. And I'm like, holy crap. Okay. And so I call my buddy who's a realtor, and long story short, within like minutes, have this thing under contract. And so what I wanted to talk about today is like how the vision, well, a divine intervention to a degree, but it's also believing and believing something before it happens. It's believing something before it happens and having the ability to have a vision and not knowing exactly how that vision is going to get fulfilled, but yet it happening. And in order for in my opinion, in order for that type of thing to occur, there has to be one, a huge sense of belief in yourself and identity to be able to make that happen. Because what I've definitely understood is like our identity is based off of the vision that we have of ourselves. And a lot of times we can get stuck in the old identity patterns of things that we used to do. Therefore, it puts us in a very crippled state of being. And I can tell you, I am like the utmost testament to that. And I wanted to give you that backstory so I could bring it to the future, to the present, I mean, which is now. And when I got to Symmetry Financial. And so when I got to Symmetry, I still had this mindset of like big ideas, big things, right? Like I got this. I got introduced warm market. I was in an entrepreneur men's like group, like coaching group for mindset and performance. I was actually a coach for them. First I was a client, and then they hired me on as a consulting coach, and I would help, guys be able to do what we're kind of talking about right now. Then I got introduced to Tyler and Ashley. One thing led to another, and then I got licensed, and then I came aboard to Symmetry. And holy crap, did all of the confidence and the experience and the everything that I thought I had going for me basically get flushed down the toilet. Because it was a completely new arena that I had to walk into that I was like, oh my gosh, like what is all of this? Sales, the conversations, the like not guaranteed things to occur. And I was like, it rocked my world. So I spent a couple months like relatively stagnant, and then started to produce, right? I came aboard like September, October. That December, I think I had an 18 grand month, and like got the call from Ashley Tarr. And she's like, what are you doing? You're the new up and coming riser. And here's what happens to success when you aren't ready for it. You don't keep it up. Plain and simple. You don't keep it up. I don't know how many stories you've heard of athletes making millions of dollars under contract and they lose it all, things along those lines. And so I didn't know how to handle all of this new stuff that was coming. And by the way, that when we go back, I wasn't deeming myself successful. I had one good month and I completely crapped the bed for the next couple of months. So like it just happens. But what the thing that I had to understand is that coming into this, like all the things that I thought I knew how to do had to be completely relearned. And this might sound relatively like a broken record because like the stories aren't that misaligned of people coming into Symmetry. But the fact of the matter is the vision that I had for myself had to be completely reworked. And it also had to align with the resources that were readily available to me. And so like this morning when I was thinking of like that, the saying, the man in the arena, which like I'm gonna read it because like I saw a bunch of people drop ones in the chat, but how many people do we have on here? 94 people, right? We've got 94 people. So I highly doubt that everyone has heard it. So yeah, it's Theodore Roosevelt. And the man in the arena, it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who faced marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms and great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end of the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And so when I read that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you can try and you can have big goals and dreams and understand that like along that road, you're going to get beat up. Along that road, you're going to face things that you don't know how to handle. And so tying this all back into symmetry, right? Tying this all back into symmetry, which is a completely like new venture for a lot of people, or maybe somebody who's even in a similar position to myself, who's been here for a minute and is having to re-identify and repurpose why I'm here, right? And so for me, the why I'm here, like, yeah, I'm going to be completely straight with you. Like, I want to make a lot of money. Like, that's a big reason. I need to. I have 4 kids. Like, we have things to do. And then I look a little bit deeper than that, and it's not me. Like, I don't have aspirations to be a $50,000 a month producer. I don't, but I do love leadership. I do love speaking at this type of level, and I do love watching other people expand what they can do. I really do. That gets me going. That's why I loved what I used to do so much, because I was taking people who were damn near dead and bringing them to life. But there's also an emotional toll that is extremely draining there, and that business model was killing me financially, and it was extremely stressful. So when I got here and I saw this business model, and I thought to myself, wait, I got to buy a license and I got to get some leads, and then like Symmetry is going to do all that back end stuff. Like those slides that showed, I'm Scott, you can give me a head nod or yes. I'm going to guess Kellen did those, right? Like, that is, you don't understand the blessing that is there. Like, I didn't know I had those, the 85.29 whatever percent was next to my name. I would never have been able to do that a million years on my own. And so having the back end support and systems that are already in place, like, I don't think anyone, if you've never started a business, you don't understand how lucky that is. That stuff is so hard to do and maintain and keep up. And that's why most businesses fail, because they don't know their own data, myself included. And so tying it, like coming back to Symmetry, like getting in the arena here, what does that actually look like? Like, what does it look like to get in the arena of Symmetry Financial and this team, right? And so you're going to hear a lot about conference coming up. You're going to hear all of these things. And what I know is the people who have succeeded the most are in the middle of the fire. Like, they are doing all of the things, big and small, and they're doing it day in and day out, relatively to a boring extent. But you want to, Alex Hormozy has gotten brought up a lot lately, like on national calls, and I think he's just becoming more popular. But he's a big meathead gym guy. That's how he started. So I started following him a long time ago, and he talks about that, like, the boring will win every single time. And like, it's a scary thing in the online space, because you see a lot of shiny object syndrome, and you see a lot of people that, like, they don't really, they aren't sticking to the boring. And like, ask somebody like Sarah Hadley what it takes to succeed at a collegiate athletic level. It takes the boring. It takes waking up and doing the same thing over and over, but also applying more pressure day in and day out to take your normal a little bit further. And so you hear a lot here about like what, like, the 4 cornerstones, right? And I might give Scott a minute. I'm not sure where this call will totally go over the next, like, however long, but like, if you know what the 4 cornerstones are, actually let's do a Brian Delaney moment for a second. This is a Brian Delaney. Who, put a 1 in the chat if you've been here for less than 90 days. Okay, any of you putting a 1 in the chat? Did Joseph Helms really just put a 1? Dude. Okay, any of you who put a 1, if you can unmute, and tell me what the 4 cornerstones are, then Scott will send you a $10 Starbucks gift card.
Impeccable incompetence. Incompetence.
I'm gonna raise this to 15 now.
Competent incompetence and incompetency. I don't know.
No. The Symmetry 4 cornerstones. Mute out, Rod. Get out of here.
It's gonna be $15 gift card now, Wilbur.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, because it's staying in your pocket, it sounds like.
Maybe 20.
Huh?
Maybe 20. Anyone?
All right. For that purpose, can anybody unmute?
Yeah, I'll go.
4 cornerstones.
I got it.
Go,
I got
Brandon.
you. All right, 4 cornerstones. We have belief. We have massive action,
Yeah,
constant
it's
correction, commitment to ongoing.
I think it's
self-improvement,
belief. It's
associated with the right
belief.
people.
Hold on one second. We got 2 people talking right here.
Yeah, hold on, Josh.
Massive
Hold on, brother.
action, being with the right people, and then self-improvement.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, what this tells me is that both Brandon and Josh have these documents either printed and in their environment where they're working in their office or easily accessible on their computer. These great 8 that Wilbur is referencing are the absolute foundation of this company. If you don't have them, I'm going to bless you. Actually, Sarah Hadley is, and putting it in the chat. Print out both of these and put them in front of your face, in front of your desk.
Yeah.
Great job, gentlemen.
Yeah. Also speed to resources. That's not any of the cornerstones or anything, but speed to resources, it does do very well here because you have everything at your fingertips pretty much all of the time. And so we're getting back on track here, right? Like to come here and to actually get into the middle and get near the fire. And again, I'm not telling you this as if I've walked the path. I'm telling you this from somebody who has like somewhat been, I've never been 1 foot in, 1 foot out intentionally, maybe subconsciously, but I'm telling you from someone who has not wanted to necessarily get into the middle and actually go toe to toe with what I need to go toe to toe with, right? And that's the mundane. That is the basics of the foundation of what this business thrives upon. And so any of you who have been, and I haven't been to the newest summit, I know I need to go back, but the original summit or anything that you've heard of Ashley Tarr talking about the Ivy League method, or if you've read any Stephen Covey, right? If you've read any Stephen Covey, he talks about filling your schedule with big rocks, big pebbles, whatever, and little rocks, little pebbles, and like what that looks like. And so here, to give you a visual, I'm in a minute, I'm going to do a little bit of exercise. But the analogy there is like when we fill ourselves with little rocks, right? Little tiny responsibilities. Oh, I've got these emails coming in. I got to get the kids to school. Like all of these little things that apply as daily pressure. I've got to make this certain amount of dials. What it does is it actually puts a wet blanket over our big goals and the things that we value the most, which might be what your vision is, which might be, when I say you, I'm really looking at myself. So like what my vision actually is, like how big of an agency do I want to get? What is the impact that I want to lead, and what type of person and leader do I want to become? My goal is to actually get to a position to be able to speak at levels like this more often, because I really enjoy it and I've gotten so much value from other people pouring into situations like this. That's why I love the accountability group, because if you can find someone in leadership who's willing to put themselves on the chopping block all the time to give their thoughts and ideas and whatnot, I think that's one of the coolest things in the world. And it also shows that they're in a position to continue learning and better themselves. And so that's a big vision for me, on top of pouring into the agents that I've got. Like I can see a few of you guys on this screen. I love getting the phone calls, the text, and like kind of getting into the mud with y'all. And so when it comes to the big rocks and little rocks here, like examples would be I've got these emails from carriers. I've got to make these dials, like I said. And so Scott, for a second, unmute. What would you help me identify what a couple big rocks would be in terms of making a vision and future casting for yourself?
Let's throw it to the chat. The first one that comes to mind is like leadership promotions or comp level promotions.
Okay.
Second one, and you guys feel free to chime in the chat here, but big rocks, like when I came here, Kate and I really wanted to make passive income. I'd never had that opportunity before. Ownership, that's a good one, Kashan. You guys have any other ideas with big rocks? Earning a trip. Yeah, that's a good one. 130. That's a big.
I was gonna literally put Bob on the spot, and because I know his goal has only been one thing, and it's 130, and he went ahead and did that for me.
I would say too, now things are shifting a little bit, like helping others make what they want to make. But 130 has definitely been a big one for sure. Having a nest egg, that's really good. Equity partner, that's great, Bert.
Let's go, Bert.
Yeah, those are all big rocks. Good examples.
So, all right. So then help me answer this, Scott. If your day-to-day is consumed with little rocks, which yes, that is how you move the needle forward. If you would agree, that's how you have to get involved with the little rocks in order for them to pile up, right? But if that's all you're focused on, what happens to the big ones?
You forget about them. It becomes about what you have right in front of you. You're like, man, these dials are tough, right? And like you start forgetting what your dream was. Like I know for me, excuse me, in the first couple months, it was continuously going out to the kitchen, excuse me, and telling Kate like, "Hey, I think I'm going to go back to the dealership. This is really not what I signed up for." So glad I didn't, but that's not what brought me here. What brought me here was the vision of all those things we just mentioned. Like when Ashley and Tyler talked about the opportunity, they were like, "Look, you have a huge opportunity for passive income. This could be your literal retirement plan is a 130 plan." They broke that down for me. They talked about equity partnership and ears and all the things that you guys just mentioned. But then when the little rocks got tough, I started forgetting about those very quickly.
And then if you
Hello,
Hey,
my name's Leo. I'm new. Can you enlighten me as to what 130 means?
130% contract level.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Good to see you, Leo.
you guys all start at an 80. You can go all the way up to a 130. So when we talk about 130, that just means like people are pushing for the top. They want the top contract. It's
I
definitely
feel you. Thank you.
So Scott, if you keep your vision though, if you are able to keep your vision on the larger rocks, what happens to the little ones?
they don't make you as emotional. Like you're 100% putting me on the spot. We did not.
Yeah, this is not scripted.
They don't make you as emotional. Like you become emotionally tougher. When you focus on the big things, it's like why really are you here? You know, if I got to think about, Kate just put time in the chat. Like when my wife says time, like we're really fighting for time here. I could care less what the small rocks are. We're going to get through them, right? We're fighting for time back in our schedules. We're fighting for a future that we're building together. We're fighting for the vision that we dreamed about the last couple years that we've known each other. So like those are the big rocks, but if I keep that at the front of my mind, those smaller things just become just things, right? So, and I'll give you guys a Bible verse because I always go back to this one. It's Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary in doing good work. I shared this one with Jenny a lot, so she's shaking her head. Do not grow weary in doing good work, for at the proper time you will reap the harvest if you do not give up. And so like the harvest for Kate and I that we think about in this business, the big rocks, is like time freedom.
Yeah. And I think you answered it perfectly without knowing that I was going to ask you literally anything. But my brain, because I'm pretty simple, my brain always will go back to the physical analogy, right? It's January 19th. I just saw this somewhere today. January 19th is when 91% of people quit their New Year's goals. 19 days later typically is when people quit their New Year's goals. And so what is most people's goals? Like what's one of the first things they talk about when coming into a new year is like something physical. I want to lose X weight. I want to gain this much muscle, blah, blah, blah. Right. And someone who's been physical since I was in high school, like I know that after a while, you become a robot in what you can do and maintain. And that's where what Rod was trying to answer and where he got it from with Scott was that like competent incompetence, right? And so as an example of the big rock, little rock, if you're watching right now, you're going to want to see what happens when you put the little rocks first and when you put the big rocks first in an actual visualization. So watch this. See this? See what I got here? These are two clear cups. Both, I try to get rocks that are about the same size. Oh my goodness, that's my full face, dude. Good Lord. All right, two rocks, two clear rocks, full of dirt. Here's what happens if I take the big rocks out first, right? And I take this clear cup and I dump this is Florida dirt, by the way. A lot of people think we're sandy beaches. We're primarily dirt with some gravel mixed in. So don't get it twisted. See that? You shake it down. Cool. Let me go ahead and put my big rocks in. Who can I see on my screen? I can see Kate Schnitzer. Kate, you don't have to unmute, but like, do the big rocks fit? No, even if I shake it down. Looks like black sand, Bob, honestly, dude. Now listen, now we've got the big rocks already in this cup. I actually intentionally put a little bit of a bigger one in this one to prove a point. The same amount of dirt, right? If this spills all over me, my wife's gonna get pissed. Try not to spill. Hold on. Here we go. Watch this. We start shaking it down, right? We start shaking the little rocks down. That's empty. See that? Same amount of dirt, the same size rocks. Why does that happen? Dude, take me off this big face now. Why does it? I need to see other people's faces. Why does that happen? Because it will fill in around the bigger goal, right? It'll fill in around the bigger dream. And that's something that, like, holy crap, my brain, like, has to get back to. And what I have been discussing with people that I've been bringing on as of lately is like, this is not a job. This is not a job. It's an opportunity, 100% an opportunity. And here's why. I already talked about what it's like to start a business. Giant, excuse my language, but giant pain in the ass. It really is. Like, you've got to go take out all of this stuff, prepare all of these things. You've got to write down, you got to, depending on the type of business, you got to put policies and procedures in place. If you bring on staff, then you've got to have protocols for them. And like here is all you've got to do is get a license, get with your mentor. And if that person, and like, I'm not always the person, Rod will call me. I can only see Rod right now. Like, Rod will call me. I'm like, dude, call Scott. I don't know. Like, hit up Scott for that. Call Bob, right? Like, I'm not the person. I'm not the person right now. And I think that proves, and that's the beautiful part about this, is because there's always somewhere to go and the resources are abundant. And yeah, business in a box. Like, do you know how hard it would be to contract? How hard it is to contract with Mutual of Omaha independently? Did you know how hard that would be to do? All you do is you go to Sure LC and you type in some crap, and then boom, you get an email like 4, 5, 7 days later, right? But yet we get impatient when it's taking forever for a contract to come in. Where's my contracts? And I'm like, you go ahead and try to set that up all on your own. Like, it's impossible. And so to have all of that stuff and not have to come in with a giant capital. My last business, without getting too deep, I was handed multiple six figures from an investor to be able to kick off what I did. It allowed us to purchase homes. It allowed us to get all of our licenses set up. And you want to know what I walked away with? Break even, nothing. And 5 years of super, super hard work. And a lot of learning lessons along the way, right? A ton of lessons along the way. And so, like, what my thing here is if you're here, like, be here and understand that there is something bigger at stake here than trying to sell freaking, Judy down the street on your CIB lead, trying to squeeze in that critical period thing, right? Like, those are the little rocks that have to compound to create the bigger view, to create the bigger picture. And I can tell you transparently, right before I got on this call, I had the weirdest phone call I've had, one of the weirdest I've had since starting here. Yes, I was a weekend warrior. That client called me and said, "Hey, Wilbur, the VA just called me and told me that my bone marrow test came back," which he didn't tell me about any of this, but yet we got instant approval with America, so riddle me that. But my bone marrow test came back, and I have leukemia. I only have 3 to 4 years to live, and they're waiting for my second test to come back if I have Parkinson's, which might have been a byproduct of drinking the flood water from North Carolina. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, "So with that said, I don't think I need this policy." And I'm like, and his name was Bob, actually. And I'm like, "Excuse me? What do you mean you don't?" He said, "Well, the VA is, I do all of my work through the VA, all my medical stuff, and they told me they're going to go ahead and cover my burial plot, and all of my retirement is going to be handed down to my granddaughter. And so I don't think we need it." And I'm like, instant approval, America, instant coverage. Like, there's no better time to need this. And I tell you that because I could let that completely derail me. Like, we are going for a promotion this month. Like, I am going for a promotion, and our team is. Whether the guys on my team know that or not, like, we are. And we're trying to get somewhere. And that would have been a pretty nice, pretty good, like, that I needed that $2,100. Like, that's super helpful. And also my freaking bank account would like that. But it's okay because it's Monday, which is always going to come. Jordan Hunt. Like Monday will always show up and there's always more to do and there's always more opportunity. I'm not going to let that hiccup slow me down. I'm just going to go write another one, right? And so those rocks will eventually fill themselves in, right? It will fill themselves in. The numbers will owe the activity. Numbers always owe activity. You have a problem getting a six pack because you can't get as fast as Rod. Work a little bit harder and be more patient, right? Like some people have some people in the recovery world. In the recovery world, with people who really struggle with we call like cravings, right? They like can't get over the mental obsession of using drugs and alcohol. They just can't shake it. Their mind is always on it. They drive past a 7-Eleven, there's like beer in there. They go past a corner that they used to like pick stuff up from. They call it a mental obsession. And to be freed of that, there's a saying where it's sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, right? And as long as you keep working towards the goal, which is abstinence, which is a cleared mind and body, you'll eventually get to that, right? You'll eventually get to that, but you want to know when you won't get to it if you don't keep going. Like if you don't keep going. And I've had a lot of calls with Scott, I've had a lot of calls with Bob, where I'm like, not that I was like out the door, but I was pissed. I'm annoyed. And I'm like, I don't know. Right. I don't really know. I'm indifferent. But we kept going and now we're here. Right. And now like the vision and the commitment and all that is significantly stronger. And so, I don't know. Like for me, like again, it's a reshaping of the identity, which is your vision. Your vision is connected to your identity. It is. And so if I can help with that, feel free to let me know. Sidebar, not here right now, but that's something that I'm actively working on with you guys or anybody who's newer or been here for a while. So I appreciate you, Scott. I'm gonna let you, if there's anything else you want to close out on, feel free to do so.
Come on, let's give it up for Wilbur. So good, man. Hey, just honor this man real quick. I know Mondays are usually a little bit more tactical for us. Honor him in the chat. If this made an impact on you, just use the word that comes to mind so that we can send this to Wilbur. I would say that calls like this are more important than learning how to dial. Would you guys agree with me? If you don't, you may be new because that's all you're focused on right now. Calls like this are more important than learning how to dial. You're going to learn how to dial. We have plenty of training for you. But what happens when the small rocks come up and they frustrate you? So I would bet my income on the fact that mindset is probably more important than the training. You're going to figure out the training if you've got the mindset to stick in this. And the analogy that I want to give you guys, Jim gave this to me on a coaching call once. So I'm going to steal it from him, like I do with every other good leader in our company. Imagine you are watching a football game. Okay. Kate just started to smile because she remembers this. This impacted us. Imagine you're watching a football game. You're not watching the Bills last night, obviously, because it doesn't apply to this conversation. But imagine you were watching a football game, Wilbur, and you just gotten home from the day and you're about to sit down and click it and turn it on. But you had TiVo'd this game. What happens when you TiVo a game, Wilbur? Do you guys still have TiVo? Or is it recorded the game?
TiVo?
I have not recorded TV in probably 10 years, so this may be some old terminology here. Okay, let's say you recorded the game already. Yeah, you can skip through the commercials. You operate as if you already knew the ending. Burt Wright just nailed it. It's the only one I looked at. DVR is also one. You're operating as if you already knew the ending. So imagine I sat down for the Bills game last night. Okay. And instead of sitting there sick to my stomach every time something happened, right? We didn't get a first down call. Sick to my stomach. All right. We missed an important catch on fourth down. Sick to my stomach. We had tons of adversity. I'm sitting there like texting my guy friends and I'm like, I'm literally going to think about this first down call forever. And then I'm going to hop on a team call tomorrow and Mick Trumbo is going to remind me of it. And I'm going to be crying to myself about it. But I was just, my stomach was churning the whole time. I was like, I told Kate when that call was made, I don't know if we're going to win. This is a pivotal point in this game. We're all going to remember this for the next year because this first down matters and we're probably going to end up losing this game because of it. I was in disbelief. I was actually in full doubt that the Bills could even come back and win that game. But what happens if you record the game before and you already know the score? How do you watch that game differently? If the tables were turned and the Bills would have won last night, and I already knew the score before I started watching the game, that first down call, I would have laughed. That's funny. Okay, give it to him. Okay, that missed first down on the three tush pushes we did, I would have said, it didn't work, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. When we didn't catch that fourth down pass, I would have really laughed and I would have said, man, they're making it tough on themselves, but I can't believe they won. I already know the outcome, Wilbur. I already knew the outcome because this game was recorded earlier and I already looked at the score. All right. That's what happens when you focus on the big rocks in this business. You already know the outcome. Look around you. Look how many people are winning here. Look how many people have set their families free financially. Look at it. We give you guys examples every week. Every single week we have someone on the call that gives you an example that set their family free because they set themselves on fire early on in this business. And they knew the outcome to the game because they had that belief. You got to steal it from someone first. Ask me what the score is to the game every time you get upset about a small rock. Call me. I'll tell you the score. All right? It looks like equity partner. It looks like managing partner. It looks like 130. It looks like having 130s beneath you and helping set other families free. That's what this business offers. You guys have already watched the game, so if you're brand new, plug into the game film. Get the fourth thing on this cornerstone of success is the most important. Someone put it in the comments. Number 4 is the most important thing you will ever do here. Associate yourself with people. Get around people who think this way. All right? Because I already know the score to the game. So if you want to know the outcome, give me a call. But there's a lot of other people here that can help you. All right? The dials, the contacts, the appointments, the no-shows, the chargebacks, the frustrating agent that comes on board and then quits the next day that you poured so much time into. It all doesn't matter. You're still going to win. All right? Or are you not? Are you going to let the current score decide that for you? That's all I got. Wilbur, you did an amazing job. Love you, man. Let's go out and crush it this week. Final week of the month. Let's go. Let's go. Love you guys.
Go Collective family.